Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. Now, I didn't manage to make it out to NAMM this year, and yet I still got NAMM-thrax. I guess out of habit. So I'm just now starting to catch up on all the news and all the new guitars. I figured I'd just turn on the camera, that way we can look at all the new stuff and get first impressions together. And I also figured I'd start with one of my favorites, ESP. Design-wise, I think the balance they strike between modernization and vintage, so you get elements of both, they're just masters of modernizing traditional designs, modern playability, modern features, without losing the traditional charm. Listen, I just love my ESPs, okay? The first time picking up an Eclipse was genuinely life-changing. Up until that point, I had no idea guitars could be that good, could be that easy to play. Been obsessed with single cuts and a massive fan of ESP ever since. They're such a big name in the guitar world. Looking at their lineup is kind of an indicator of where mainstream modern guitar is going. It's also their 50th anniversary, a very impressive milestone, so I'm very curious to see what they're doing to celebrate. This is probably going to be a long one, so smack a like on the video if you're going to enjoy it. That actually massively helps appease the YouTube algorithm, or is it the DeepSeek algorithm now? Either way, really helps out the channel, and let's take a closer look at the new ESP guitars. All right, let's start at the top, and finally, it's here. The LTD MT1 from Mick Thomson. A fucking Slipknot. Yep, that looks like a metal guitar to me. Let's check the specs. He left Seymour Duncan last year, so obviously it's got his new Fishman Fluent signature pickup. And I actually did a video on the Mick Thomson signature pickups you can check out after this one. So the way that they've wired this up is you've got this little switch down here that does different things depending on what position the push-pull volume pod is in. But so basically when the push-pull is down, you're in voice 1. It's like a old school, really aggressive EMG 81. Then the toggle activates a bass shift. And when the push-pull is up, you're in voice 2, which is like a very, very mellow, vintage passive sound. The toggle then acts as a way to get to voice 3, which is a single coil sound. I love Fishman Fluents, man. Even in a single pickup guitar, you can get so many different sounds. Got Goto strap locks, hip shot hardware, grip lock, open gear lock and tuners. Let's go. What else? Macassar ebony fingerboard. Oh, 300 to 400. So that's 12 to 16 inch compound radius. Nice. 24 medium jumbo stainless steel. What? LTD puts extra jumbo frets on most of their guitars. That's part of why I love them so much. It makes it so easy to play. You don't need to use a lot of force to fret a note cleanly. And he just came from Jackson, who also used railroad track size frets. I mean, these frets do not look small, but it's just an interesting spec to see on this guitar. And they've also gone with the hip shot Ibby bridge. And I wondered what they were gonna do here because Mick loves his chunky bridges. His previous signature had this big fucking thing. Looks like a Floyd, but there's no Floyd cavity. Because it's not a Floyd. There's no springs, there's no cavity. It's a hardtail, just with this big, massive metal. This time they've gone with a hip shot Ibby bridge. They're machined out of a large chunk of brass. So again, a lot of mass to them. Not quite as unique as a permanently immobile fake Floyd, but it is much cleaner looking, really adds to the sleeker vibe of this guitar. You got that, you got the matching headstock, the metallic finish, the efficient controls, like the overall vibe, very clean, very sleek, very refined metal guitar. That being said, now if we scroll through recent pictures of Mick Thomson, you know, Mick has a very creepy mask, but also a very enviable ESP collection. He's even got a couple of these, the ESP Formula, which was a shape that I didn't even know existed until I saw him playing it, an ESP RS, the random star shape, humbucker single. Very cool. We're checking the Japanese side right now to be sure. Just like the Formula, another shape that's not in production, even on the Japanese side. Ah, and it's awesome. You know, it's Slipknot's style of music, and he's using these very bright, sparkly finishes. There's another arrow. Oh, I like this one. The F shape actually looks very fucking cool in Obsidian. Like, come on, dude, that thing is a weapon. It's a good thing I'm not a betting man, because I would have bet on this red sparkle being the signature, even though I so badly wanted it to be an Eclipse. Obviously, in the Jawbreaker finish, but nope. None of those. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually cheated. I texted my friend Blue at ESP, teasing him like, y'all fucked up. Mick had all these cool guitars and you let him get away with this. And he basically told me to take a closer look before writing it off. So apparently Mick was a big fan of this, at least currently Japan exclusive ESP Original Series Maverick. It sparkles, so that checks out. And it's also got a slanted neck pickup. So even though the MT1 has no neck pickup, he just thought it was cool and wanted it. And I gotta tell you, the more I'm looking at it, the more I kind of agree. Like, I love single pickup guitars, but there's this awkward square block of empty space between the pickup and the fingerboard. Somehow that little angle on the end of the fingerboard makes it less awkward, or I've just been staring at this too long. Remove. It does have very strong ESP USA Horizon 2 vibes, so like a modified import production version of an ESP USA. So conceptually it's very cool, right? It's like an intersection of the two ESP paradigms. You've got elements of ESP USA, elements of ESP Japan, with Mick Thomson's custom artist specs sprinkled on top, and the signature is based on the M8 shape shape, which is already a combination of the Mirage and the Horizon. So, I guess this makes this like a Mick Thomson Ltd USA MHMV? Just this amalgamation of elements from across the ESP world. So I love that story. I just feel like there are so many places you could have taken that idea. These specs on an Eclipse or on an ESP deep cut like the Formula, or maybe just the color. Like if this was in red sparkle, I would probably be losing my shit. Cool specs, I love the efficient control layout, it's clean, it's sleek, it's refined, it's a workhorse, but it's also somehow one of the least attention-grabbing guitars in Mick's ESP collection. And maybe that was the point. As much as I'd personally love a single pickup jawbreaker Eclipse, this has a lot more widespread appeal. It's gonna sell a heck of a lot better. And by the way, all of Sweetwater and Thomann links to all the gear we're talking about in the description if you want more details, or if something catches your eye and you need to treat yourself. You can also bookmark those for the next time you're picking up strings or picks or whatever. Really appreciate you decided to do that. The next one, RZK-III. Oh my god, I like this. It's the newest signature for Richard ZK, legendary co-founder and lead guitarist for Rammstein. He's got an interesting ESP collection. He's gone through a few shapes. The RZK-I, that's like a Maserite type thing. RZK-II was an Eclipse. Both have Floyds. RZK-III, based on the Phoenix. I'm loving this LTD offset era. I'm loving the vintage, highly modified vibe. The aged white color, no 6-in-line, but a 3x3 headstock. The fucking stereo dial for the volume knob combined with his very modern signature Fishman influences. Again, I've got a video up you can check out after this one on those. All right, let's take a look at the specs. So we've got stainless steel frets, glow-in-the-dark side markers. Nice. Love how those are becoming standard features on import guitars. Recessed Tone Pros TOM and tailpiece. Oh, wait, that's interesting. LTD started experimenting with this last year with the EC01 FT. A streamlined single-cut workhorse was something that a lot of their artists were requesting, but a lot of them had grown up playing Floyds and didn't like how elevated the TOM was. So as a solution, LTD recessed the Tune-o-matic into the body, so you get the feel of a modern low-profile bridge whilst also retaining the traditional vibes and charm. But this is the first one I've seen where they've done it with the stop tail too. Raw maple neck, the volute, graphic of RZK giving us the finger. It's a traditional German industrial metal blessing. You have to respect their culture. What else for specs? A reversible kill switch. What does that mean? So there's a mini toggle to select kill switch mode. So maybe there's like a momentary mode and like an on-off mode. Not really sure. Dunno, but that volume knob is so cool. I'm gonna have to get a couple of those to put on my own guitars. We're only a couple of guitars in. I don't want to take a huge break, but I'm getting pretty hungry. Let's take a quick second to thank Factor for sponsoring today's video. Factor delivers delicious and nutritious meals straight to your door. Chef created and dietitian approved, Factor's pre-prepared meals are fresh, never frozen, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. As a full-time content creator, business owner, and father of a 2-year-old tornado, Factor has been a game changer for a fully packed and unpredictable, chaotic schedule. Factor is super convenient, it's efficient, and it takes all the hours, stress, and mess of grocery shopping, meal prepping, and cooking out of the equation, giving you back control of your time to do what you want to do. You guys already know I'm a big fan of HelloFresh. They actually now own Factor, and while I really enjoy HelloFresh's pre-proportioned ingredients and easy to follow recipes, I love being able to fire up a nutritious and genuinely tasty meal in literally 2 minutes to keep my day flowing. And when I hear healthy meal, I just assume the worst case scenario and it's gonna taste like cardboard. This cheesy garden herb chicken with creamy broccoli rice and chili garlic zucchini does not taste at all like cardboard. Ah, so good. Menus are updated every week with new options so you can pick your favorites, or you can have Factor craft your order based on your taste preferences and lifestyle goals. So if you're ready to see how Factor can help you live your best healthy life, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50AgriFish to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50AgriFish at factor75.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. And of course, clicking the link helps support the channel by letting them know that I sent you. And while you're checking out that lifestyle game changer, let's get back into guitars. Then the JM1 for Josh Middleton of Sylosis. Okay, so a single pickup version of his JM2. Oh wait, maybe this was the first LTD with a recessed Tune-o-matic? Anyways, back to the new JM1. That Deep Blood Moon quilt burst is really cool. And that's one of the things about single pickup guitars. If you've got a nice figured top, you get to show off more of it. But there's more than just aesthetic benefits. Especially a lot of metal players seem to be moving towards single pickup guitars. The simplicity is nice, especially if you live on the bridge pickup, volume at 10, tone knob hasn't seen action in years. You know who you are. and I can relate. But also, all things equal, single pickup guitars will have better sustain than dual pickup guitars, which sounds like bullshit, but hear me out. Because think about it, right? One of the key components for a pickup is a big magnet.
Fucking magnets, how do they work?
So the magnetic field pulls the strings towards the guitar. The stronger the field, the more it's going to affect the string's vibration. So it's going to make it harder for the strings to move. By getting rid of one of the pickups, by getting rid of one of those big magnets, it makes it easier for the strings to move, they'll vibrate longer, giving you more sustain. And actually my friend Algin at Gibson told me that that's partially why 3 humbucker guitars never really caught on. It's not just that the middle humbucker doesn't really add anything and gets in the way of your picking hand. It's also that a lot of players just didn't vibe with the guitars. They thought they sounded kind of dead. Because of 3 humbuckers, 3 big ass magnets pulling on the strings, it's just flattening your sustain. So obviously with single pickup guitars, the trade-off is versatility. But my point is there are actual significant benefits to a single pickup guitar too.
Magnets! Oh!
Anyways, again, back to the new Jam 1. Stainless steel frets, roasted maple neck, Fishman Influence Modern, recessed Godot Tunematic. Not really a super strat guy, but that deep blood moon is a really sick finish. Then ALR-II in see-through purple. Oh, that's a great color. I haven't seen that headstock in an LTD in a while. It's usually the 6-in-line pointy one. Whose signature is this? Andy LaRocque. No way that's his real name. That's too perfect for a guitar player. For the band King Diamond. Okay, they're kind of an old school metal band, so it makes sense that he wants to call back to the old school style of Horizon. Classic teardrop headstock, also with extra jumbo stainless steel frets, lumen lays, hell yeah. Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge, also a classic, and then a custom stack plus. Oh, so like a stacked angled humbucker in the neck. Cool. Should have run this by Mick Thomson first though. They missed the Maverick fingerboard end. But that's cool. Very classic ESP vibes, but modernized. And then the 50th anniversary EC 2025. 50th is the gold anniversary, and yep. You know, it's kind of like a classic gold top, except gold everywhere, because why stop at the top? Commemorative matching gold headstock too. Black hardware. What are the pickups in this? Seymour Duncan Custom 14, ESP exclusive. So that's the Seymour Duncan Black Winter, Seymour Duncan Custom Hybrid, and that's paired with the very classic Seymour Duncan Alnico 2 Pro. Cool. What else? Limited to 500 pieces worldwide. Personally, I could have probably done with no 50 inlay there. Like no inlays at all would be very clean. Or maybe something a little more subtle, like a variation of the 12th fret inlay on my ESP USA Eclipse, because this is part of ESP US's 50th anniversary celebration. ESP Japan is releasing their own, I would imagine, much more expensive 50th anniversary Horizons. Good God. Those are really nice for 1.5 million yen, which is just under $10,000. Damn, dude, the resin and burl look. Oh, there's a purple one. Oh, the headstock too. Dude, oh, and on the hardware, the color matched moving parts too. Totally inaccessible guitars, but so cool. Okay, so in my head, I was kind of thinking like the styling of that 50 inlay doesn't really fit with the rest of the guitar. Like where did they even get that from? And okay, so that makes sense now. Makes way more sense than the 12 billion and 3% of viewers who are not subscribed. So if you're enjoying the content and haven't subscribed already, here's your quick reminder to do that. There are so many new guitar announcements to keep up with right now, so make sure to hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss any new uploads. Oh. M1000 Maple. Again, I'm not really a super strat guy, and this is a very super strat, but like that contrast is sick. You know what? It's almost like a combination of like Kirk Hammett and EVH vibes, retrofitted to modern preferences with direct mounted Fish Influence Modern, stainless steel frets. Oh, it's even got the 12 to 16 inch compound fingerboard radius like EVH guitars do. All right, what's next? Oh my God, yes. XJ7 Baritone for Alex Wade of Whitechapel. Let's go. Whitechapel kicks so much ass. I'm telling you, the LTD offset era is officially upon us. I've been stoked on this one for a while, actually. He'd been showing off on Instagram his ESP custom version, and you gotta say, LTD killed it. It looks basically identical. Like a 7-string Evertune Baritone single pickup offset with those little gold accents. Yes, please. Let's take a quick look at the specs. So we got 27-inch scale length, Maxar ebony fingerboard, 24 extra jumbo stainless steel frets. What pickups in here? DiMarzio Deactivator 7. Never actually tried one. DiMarzios are hit or miss for me, but everyone says that the Deactivator is one of the best, at least for the caveman brain chug stuff. 5-piece maple walnut Paduke neck, which you would never otherwise know because this guitar is just too metal, but multi-piece necks, especially different wood species, that does help with stability, and especially with the Evertune too. I love it. I love everything about this. Maybe not the prices, but that's not Alex Wade's fault. That's across the board for all major brands because supply chain is still fucked. But that doesn't take away from how awesome this is. Simple, high spec, you know it chugs hard, but with a little touch of classiness with those gold accents. Love it. The RZK in this, those are my favorites so far. Oh, wow. That is outrageous. Eclipse style body, F style headstock. This can only be for one person. Mr. Alex Skolnick, who dominates stages with thrash metal Godfather's Testament. Oh, and he's also got a namesake jazz trio. Very cool. His blue, aqua, and lemon burst guitars have been staples in the ESP lineup for a long time. I think this is the first new color in a while. Yeah, almost 10 years, all the way back to 2016. Still got the abalone-filled block inlays, and with the black hardware too. Outrageous. How can this not put a smile on your face? You know what? The color is very similar to this ESP USA finish. Ah, okay. So I was literally about to ask whether he was maybe inspired by this ESP USA Eclipse, but there he is on the ESP artist page, and there it is on the headstock Eclipse USA. So this is actually pretty cool. This, the Mick Thomson, we're seeing direct ESP USA inspiration and vibes made more accessible through the production import LTDs. More importantly, that looks sick as hell. Not as sick as this though. What? The CS2, who is this for? Caleb Shomo of Beartooth. And former keyboard player for Attack Attack. Show some respect. Dude, a Phoenix with the Telly neck pickup? What are the pickups actually? So we got a Seymour Duncan Custom 14 paired with the Seymour Duncan Quarter Pound, which is like an overwound Telly single coil. And Telly neck pickups compared to like Strat single coils tend to be a little mellower, I would say a little more musical. So like the fact that they've paired that with a high output humbucker in a classic styled modern spec offset, I love it. I love everything about this. What else? Neck through construction, Macassar ebony fingerboard, 3-piece mahogany neck. It's very similar to this one, the Phoenix 1001. Same wood, stainless steel frets, same bridge pickup. But this one, you know, the pick guard, the gold hardware, the block inlays. I love it. To me, this looks so much better with the vintage styling. I mean, just that Telly neck pickup alone. Dude, the RZK, the Alex Wade, and now the Caleb Shomo. My top 3 so far are all offsets. Speaking of which, XJ1 HT Baritone in Silver Blast. What is that, like a sandblasted silver burst? Nice. The recent Silver Burst resurgence is still going strong, and I love how companies are doing these modern takes on the Silver Burst too, right? Like Jackson has their Sparkle Silver Burst, and now LTD is going with a sandblasted ash variant. It's very cool. It's a modern take on a classic theme. It's not one that I've seen before, at least from the major brands, and it really works with this like metal workhorse theme. I love that the colors are even mimicked with the brushed pick guard and the brushed chrome pickup. 27-inch scale length. Of course, all the LTDs at this level have stainless steel frets. 3-piece roasted maple neck. I kind of wish they'd silver bursted the back of the body too, but I mean, that looks absolutely evil. Fishman Fluence Modern. Full volume for Voice 3, so that's a shame you don't get Voice 2. But yeah, when LTD brought back the XJ last year with the XJ1 HT, a lot of people thought it was a baritone because, I mean, look at it, it's begging for a baritone version. And now we got it in this interesting Silver Blast color. It's one I definitely want to see how it looks in person, but I think it's very cool. It's another example of what ESP and LTD do so well, that tasteful modernization of vintage themes. Huh. What if Les Paul Custom, but also Aero? Dude, that's amazing. They've even got the Les Paul Custom reflector knob. Who is responsible for this? Mike Schleibaum? Schleibaum? Mike, if you end up seeing this, I'm so sorry. Hopefully one of those was close. Founding member of Washington, D.C.-based melodic death metal band Darkest Hour. His updated LTD signature is now available in gloss black with gold hardware. Wait a second. Do I have brain damage? There was a previous one? Oh yeah, they had one in Olympic white. You know, not quite the tuxedo look. It's got chrome hardware instead of gold. But this time, I mean, they've gone properly Les Paul Custom Black Beauty on this. This is very compelling evidence to support my theory that the Les Paul Custom Black Beauty tuxedo theme can make literally any guitar shape classy as fuck. Bruh, that gold logo too? Oh yeah, and he uses the James Hetfield pickup too. It's not very common for one artist to have another artist's signature pickup in their guitar, but like, it's James Hetfield, fucking Metallica, so understandable. Super pointy guitar, floating tremolo, two things I would generally avoid like the plague, and yet, well done, Mike. Which is so cool. What if a Les Paul Custom was a pointy-ass metal guitar? It's a great twist on the super serious blacked-out metal guitar. A little pointy for my taste, but conceptually, I love it. And speaking of classy glow-ups, we've got a new version of the WA-WARBIRD for Will Adler of Lamb of God, one of my favorite bands ever. Adler means eagle in German, And so yeah, this visual theme. If Mick Thomson's signature was very low-key, this goes in like the completely opposite direction, and this is such an overdue update. His signature Fishman Fluence set dropped in 2017, and that set is so good. It's definitely my favorite Fishman Fluence, maybe my favorite pickup set ever. So it's been 7-8 years, and the Warbird finally has his signature pickups. There have been a couple of different colors, but the first Warbird dropped in 2014 in navy. 2015, they introduced the black one with the white graphic. That was when he was still with Seymour Duncan. 2016, he moved to Fishman Fluence. They put Fluence Moderns in there. And then, yeah, so it's been 9 years. It's actually crazy it took so long. It got to the point where I was convinced they just weren't gonna do it. Again, it's got a lot of those like classic Black Beauty vibes. The gold logo is very cool. But here's a cool thing that a lot of people overlook. It's, well, at least at the time, I'm pretty sure it still is the only LTD Eclipse in the lineup with a raw maple neck. Feels amazing, super smooth. Yeah, it's almost like 70s Les Paul custom vibes with the maple neck and the volute. And what in the Carcosa is this? Someone notify Andrew Bana immediately. 8-string with an inline headstock. Such a massive guitar. The new Stephen Carpenter signature for Deftones. SC608 Baritone, and that bridge middle humbucker pickup configuration. So bizarre, but in fairness, instantly identifiable signature look. All right, what's going on here? Taking inspiration from Steph's ESP custom shop guitar, affectionately named Chiquita. Like the banana, very fitting. Absolutely absurd guitar. No stainless steel frets though, huh? Now, I never tried his signature Fishman Fluences. The only things I heard about them was that they had a glow-in-the-dark Fluence squiggle, and also, almost universally, that they sounded like ass. But they've just dropped a new version that's, quote, undergone a significant transformation with new and reimagined voicings. Apparently they're much, much better. It's a safe bet that's what's in this guitar. But yeah, the thing is just so ridiculous in so many ways. Chiquita, how can you not enjoy this? I mean, bro, it's named Chiquita. How can this not make you smile? I think that's it for the signatures, so let's see what's going on here. The MH1000NT BB. Oh yeah, I remember this from the EC1000 Evertune. It's cool they're expanding the bold binding theme. Delivers exactly what the name says. Yep, I would agree with that. Double thick painted binding on the body and headstock. That white outline is kind of like what I do to my face and thumbnails. Okay, then a new color for the EC01FT. Charcoal burst satin with a quilt maple top. Other than that, same specs, Seymour Duncan Custom 14, recessed bridge. Yeah, I mean, satin over gloss for playability any day. And the figured top is kind of cool. It's reminiscent of, forgot what these are called, Gibson Custom Shop figured top double cut Les Pauls. Personally, it's just not fair. I don't think you can beat the vintage sleeper vibes of the original launch models though. But it's cool to see them expanding and adding a new flavor of the EC01 theme. Okay, then the M107 Baritone Evertune. Didn't they release this before? Oh, no, that's right. It was an E2. E2 is like the higher tier Japanese-made standard production models. And I believe this was the first, at least non-signature E2 that came with an Evertune. Yeah, because I was gonna say, I remember Howie from Within Destruction had one when he came through on tour. And it was very sick. They are a very loud band. So now there's an LTD version, pretty much same specs, matching headstock. It's also got stainless steel frets, which the E2 did not, but pickup rings? Why? For a modern guitar? Direct mounted is so much cleaner. Why change it? Either way, love ESP's modern sparkly finishes, and I'm loving this heavy focus on baritone guitars, especially Evertune baritone guitars. Okay, then a TE1000, again in the new Silver Blast, 25-inch scale length, 24 extra jumbo stainless steel frets, 3-piece roasted maple neck, another Seymour Duncan Custom 14 Alnico 2 Pro pickup combo. I'm not digging the Silver Blast on this as much as I was on the XJ baritone. I liked what they were doing with the pickguard and the brushed chrome cover, though in fairness, this kind of does have like a burnt Barncaster vibe. I guess that's pretty cool too. And rounding out the new Silver Blast models, we've got an SN1000 HT. Yeah, dude, that pickguard makes a difference. Same general specs as the rest of the Silver Blasted series, so we've got the stainless steel frets. But what's cool about the SNs is that 17 to 22, I believe, are scalloped. You know, extra widdly power. And then the roasted maple neck, the hip shot bridge, the Fishman Fluence Moderns. Big Jim Root vibes, but with the Silver Blasted ESP twist. I do not mind this at all. And then the SN1 HT. That's an evil looking thing. So I guess it's the SN version of the XJ1 HT. A lot of single pickup guitars this year. Although again, that slope of the top end of the pickguard, it's anything that breaks up the block of space in between the fingerboard and the pickup just makes it less awkward. Yep, so again, you got your stainless steel, you got your roasted maple, you got your ash blasted body, you got your Fishman Fluence and brushed pickguard. The one big difference between this and the XJ, because it's the SN, you do have those scalloped frets, which is very cool. Not enough imports have scalloped frets. The SN is the only series I can think of that consistently has those scalloped frets from the 17th fret up. And then the TE-1007 baritone. Man, LTD is going hard with these sandblasted ash bodies, the ash blasting, especially these single pickup ones. I guess this is the de facto replacement for the black metal series. And look, I will encourage roasted maple, stainless steel frets, fluence, hip shot, ash blasted body. The XJs are cool, the SNs are cool, but something about this, I think the TEs need a pickguard too. Again though, that thing is just gloriously evil. Then the obligatory Aero 1000, gotta have a new one every lineup, and I'll be honest, I have been filming for a while and I just don't care about this one whatsoever. Don't like the color, don't like the shape. The inlays are kind of cool. Fans of the Aero and of pointy guitars, I'm happy for you. But let's move on. New silver sunburst color for the EC256. That teardrop is looking kind of funky. It might just be the stock photo. The 256 is kind of like the more affordable, more classic styled Eclipse. These make for really good mod platforms, and you can't really go wrong with the silver burst single cut, can you? And then it looks like the 201s have gotten an entire across the board refresh. So that's the EC201, the TE201, the SN201, the M201 HT baritone. Actually, this one might be new. Hello. That looks like a fun mod project. Even at the 200 series level, they're going baritone crazy. Love that. Pretty sure the Phoenix 201 is new as well, so that's cool. And the EX 201. I love the blacked out theme, and then you've got like the binding and the aged pickup cover for some reason, providing the contrast. Like the rest of the guitar is looking brand new, and then there's this aged pickup cover for some reason. I don't know why they did that, but I like it. It's interesting. Rosewood fingerboard, extra jumbo frets. Okay, so what have they changed from the last version? Oh, they're gloss black instead of satin black now. Okay. The old ones also had roasted Jatoba fingerboards, that's right. The new ones, they've gone back to rosewood, which you have to say most players will see as an upgrade. I don't know, for Mod Project beater guitars, I kind of like satin. It ages really well, but it also collects fingerprints, which drives people crazy. Really the big talking points here, the affordable 200 series baritone, and that they're ditching roasted Jatoba and returning back to a more traditional rosewood. Oh man, that took way longer than I thought it would. Okay, so a few interesting takeaways. For design trends, it's all about offsets, baritones, and single pickup guitars. I don't know where this trend has come from, and it's just like the weirdest coincidence because it exactly mirrors my own guitar taste journey. Like I used to be exclusively a single cut player. Give me an Eclipse or a Les Paul or give me death. Then the Valiant Jupiter blew my mind, and it was like, wait, these are really cool too. And most recently baritones, because it was like, hang on a second, you can get this stupidly low with a 6-string? Obviously, they're far from the only ones embracing offsets and baritones. Just on a personal level, I thought it was kind of funny how perfect the timing of this LTD lineup was. Needs more single cuts though. And then single pickup guitars, it's kind of funny because Gibson, PRS, more traditional guitars, they're adding more push-pulls and toggle switches and tonal versatility than ever. Meanwhile, metal players are just done putting up the facade that they know anything about what to do with the tone control. Like, this is what I want the guitar to do. Give me sustain and no option paralysis. And overall, a very focused 2025 lineup. They've culled a lot of the older models, like the 87 series looks like it's on the way out. Incredibly, both the Arctic Metal and the Black Metal series are gone completely. So yeah, a more streamlined LTD. Which makes sense because where import guitar prices are going, even if it's for factors that guitar brands have literally no control over, fair or not, at higher price points, expectations are different. Now, my personal experience with LTD is that in terms of quality and consistency, they are one of, if not the best amongst the major name import brands. If maintaining or even improving that high level of consistent quality comes at the unfortunate expense of quantity, I think that's okay. Either way, the LTD lineup is starting to look quite different to how it did just a few years ago, so it'll be interesting to see what other guitars get released gradually throughout the year. So yeah, quite a lot that I'm excited about, but I think I've rambled on for way longer than I needed to, so here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of the new ESP, or rather LTD lineup? What were your highlights? Do you also find yourself gravitating towards offsets and baritones? Are you also a little sad that the single cut has gotten so little representation this time around? Any and all thoughts? Let me know down below. Massive thanks to my incredible supporters on Patreon. You guys are the reason these videos keep happening. Their names are up on the screen right now, because literally without you guys, the channel would be long dead. So if you enjoy the content and would like to join them too, you can become a patron for bonus extras and see your name up there as well. Social media, merch, and links to all the gear that we talked about are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.